Hello, how are you? My name is Aisha, and today I'd like to speak about the East St. Louis race riots of 1917. So, as you can see, this is a news article from 1917, and the heading is 100 Negroes shot, burned, clubbed to death in East St. Louis race war. So, this is American history. This is what's happened to you. You didn't go into anybody else's town and burn stuff down because you were enslaved, because you were mad. You've never stormed a Capitol because of all the atrocities that's happened to you. But a certain other group can just wow the hell out whenever they feel like something's being taken away from them. This is American history. As always, America likes to lie and pretend as if they are so helpful and so loving. But if you scroll through my videos, you will see that American history is actually really brutal and nasty towards African Americans, while they're telling you to just get over it and just pull yourself up by your bootstraps while you don't have boots. So here we go. I'm going to read this little snippet for you guys before I get into the article so you can see how things kind of change. We don't really know how many people died during this riot because people love to lie to make themselves feel better. We didn't kill that many people. I didn't shoot them that many times. This happened so long ago. Why are we still talking about it? Those are the kind of things that make people feel better. So the East St. Louis massacre was a series of outbreaks of labor and race-related violence by white Americans who murdered between 40 and 250 African Americans in late May and early July 1917. So keep the numbers between 40 and 250 because this article actually doesn't get up to 250. It makes it seem like it's just a few tens, just about 10, 30, maybe 50. Another 6,000 Black people were left homeless, and the burning and vandalism cost approximately $400,000 in property damage. But look at this. It actually says right here that in 2021, the property damage would be more upwards towards $8 million. So not only were Black bodies being abused, not only were we being murdered just because people didn't want us around, even though we didn't do anything to them, they also took away wealth. I will never say that wealth is more important than a body because I simply don't think that way. I think bodies are way more important than structures and all this bullshit. But if you really want to know why Black America is so poor and lacking in the things that it needs, it's because every single time we've tried, others have burned it down. So let's get into the article. This article is from pbs.org, and I will start. Drawn by employment opportunities in wartime industries, between 10,000 and 12,000 African American people left the south of East St. Louis, Illinois, in 1916 and 1917 as part of the Great Migration. Many white citizens of East St. Louis, which had previously been largely white, were disturbed by the movement and by the increase in employment of Black people in the city's industrial plants. So it's always been about money. People like to throw out and just say it's not about color, it's about money, but it's about both. Because if it was just about money, you would just say, I don't want you around because I don't want you to make more money than me. But you definitely wouldn't burn people's shit down and kill them. So it was about money and color. On July 1st, 1917, a rumor spread claiming that a white man had been killed by a Black man, and tensions boiled over. So there goes that BS. The next day, the city of East St. Louis exploded in the worst racial rioting the country had ever seen. And let's just be real clear about this. when they say that it was racial rioting, that would make you think that there was groups of different colors of people rioting against each other. Yeah, let's not let that seep into your mind as if it was everybody. It was white people attacking black people. Most of the violence, drive-by shootings, beatings, and arson targeted the African American community. The riots raged for nearly a week, leaving 9 whites and hundreds of African Americans dead. And property damage estimated at close to $400,000. More than 6,000 black citizens, fearing for their lives, fled the city. So, about when I said keep that number between 40 and 250, that must have been another article that I read that just stopped at 40. At least this one said hundreds. The carnage was all the more shocking because it occurred only shortly after Americans' entry into World War I. According to historian Winston James, you have black troops going off to fight to make the world safe for democracy in April. And in July, you have black people being murdered in the most wanton and barbaric manner in East St. Louis. Children being thrown back into flaming houses. Let me repeat that. These children were being thrown back into flaming houses. People being boarded up in their houses before they're torched so that they couldn't escape. So even by American standards, East St. Louis was a horror. So screw the American Horror Story. I actually like that show, but why doesn't America want to talk about the real American Horror Story of whites abusing and murdering blacks? Everybody wants to talk about how people don't deserve reparations. People want to speak about what you would spend your money on as if it freaking matters to them. No, what you're really worried about is that we'll have more wealth than you. And you're really, really concerned that we just might do the same things that you've done to us. But don't worry about that. We're not worried about you like that. We're not demons and we don't want to hurt people just because of the color of their skin. So don't freaking count on it. But do count on some of us doing crazy stuff because, some of us just ain't got that kind of good sense. But I won't be sad if they do because karma is a bee. At the end of July 8th, of a July 8th meeting in Harlem to discuss the violence, Marcus Garvey recently returned from a year-long speaking tour of the country, asked to say a few words. The crowd stood breathless as Garvey thundered condemnation. Millions of our people in slavery gave their lives that America might live. From the labors of these people, the country grew in power until her wealth today is computed above that of any other nation. And that was a long time ago he said that. So think about the wealth that America has off the backs of other people, while all these Americans are saying, we did it for ourselves. We're such a great country. Yeah, you're not a great country without slavery. Sorry. That's why you guys love the thought of slavery, because you know exactly where you got your freaking wealth from. I lost my damn space thinking about these people. Well, thinking about the racists, not the random people. With all the service that the Negro gave, he is still a despised creature in the eyes of white people. For if he were not despised, the whites of this country would never allow such outrages as the East St. Louis massacre. This is a massacre that will go down in history as one of the bloodiest outrages against mankind for which any class of people could be held guilty. Garvey's speech in a reprint entitled The Conspiracy of the East St. Louis Riots would propel Garvey onto the national stage. It was also a key moment in Garvey's life, according to historian Robert Hill. It is at that speech that marks the turning point of Garvey away from Jamaica, away from a preoccupation with matters related to the West Indies, and now he's not looking for support for what he is hoping to accomplish in the West Indies, but rather he is now sucked into a vortex of American race relations. Similar race riots occurred across the country during this period, due principally to radicalized competition for housing and unemployment. There you have it. In some cities, clashes were sparked by the sight of Black troops in uniform. In September 1917, for instance, Black soldiers clashed with white citizens in Houston, Texas in 1919. During a prolonged period of civil unrest now known as the Red Summer, 26 race riots occurred in cities across the United States. So when they say that the Blacks clashed with the whites, well, why did they clash with the whites? Who started this? Were Black people just tired of it and they just started shooting at white people or attacking white people? Or were whites intimidated by what Blacks were doing and how they were coming up and they attacked? Here's the thing. Here's my problem with history. Every single time whites, the racist whites, attack Blacks or anybody else, they always make it seem like it was mutual combat. They always make it seem like two groups of people just met out in a field and was just like, let's hash this out. They always make it seem like it was somebody else's fault. They never, ever tell the truth that whites got mad and that they burned shit down. They attacked others. They hurt other people. Just kind of like in January 6th, how they're trying to brush it under the rug. Now everyone's saying, oh, well, sometimes you just get a little irritated with your government and that's why you can do what you want to do. But Black Lives Matter, even though I don't agree with the group, can't march down the street saying, please stop killing us. But you can piss and shit all over a Capitol. Take people's laptops. Go in there with Confederate flags, all kinds of don't tread on me flags, just the regular white bullshit. But no one else can march and stand up for their rights. Two sides of America. Don't let history make you believe that Black people are the aggressors, because we haven't. Until now, this is the first time in history when Black Lives Matter came out in the last 5 years, last 6 years. This is the first time in history that Black people have ever lit shit up. And now they want to act like it's a whole problem. Yet they spent hundreds of years hurting you, killing you, burning you down, taking your wealth. Now, cut to 2021, they want to talk about how come you don't have any wealth when they took it. Mind games. I thank you for listening. I try to get my videos down to shorter times, but it just don't work like that. But if you stayed in here for this long, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day.